Hello, 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 sellers. Come on in. Come on in. I'm Kathy Terrill, and I love to be selling on eBay. Oh, I found the hottest item with the best sell-through rate. I really was surprised. I thought it was going to be good. Over 40%. An eBay item that has a over 40% sell-through rate. So come in, because it's something that can be sourced, as far as I know, all around the United States. Say that one quickly. And perhaps even overseas, I don't know, but I know certainly in the United States. So please, please, please don't miss this. Those of you that join me live on my Facebook page, thank you, thank you. You can also check me out on my YouTube channel, Kathy Terrill, I Love to Be Selling. Also my podcast, Kathy Terrill, I Love to Be Selling. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I research hot items in a lot of different ways. One of the great blessings about living in New York City, and this would be true for any large city. So I'm thinking, Boston, Atlanta, Chicago, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Houston, Dallas. I mean, I'm thinking all across the United States. And forgive me if I'm leaving out your large cities, but really all the large cities, and particularly the ones that are pedestrian. And New York City, I live in Manhattan. Manhattan is very pedestrian, okay? People walk a lot. We walk 20, 30 blocks easily every day. We walk a lot. So that's good. Yes, there's people in cars. Yes, there's people in cabs and Ubers, but there's a lot of walking. And the good thing, and I live in Midtown. So the district that I'm in we have a lot of tourists. We have a lot of working people. So there's a good mix of people. There's some large banks in my area. There's a large accounting firm in my area. So I see like young professionals. I see the tourists. I see moms. I mean, I see a really good broad range of folks. And I'm always looking, okay? So if you don't know, my background is theater. I'm a trained professional actress. And one thing you do when you're training as an actress is you do a lot of people studies. So you go and you study people at parks and different areas, and then you come back and you recreate them in the acting class. And it's to learn to make you thinking about the way people carry themselves, their posture, their walk. People have very distinctive walks, if you don't know that. Their posture, the way they carry themselves, their hands, the way their hands move when they're walking, because this is all useful when you're creating characters for stage, film, and TV work. So I love people watching. I always have. And being in New York City, I love people watching. I like to look at their clothes as a seller. I look at their clothes. I look at the colors they're wearing. I'm wearing red because I'm going to share about a hot item. But I look at the colors they're wearing. I look at the patterns. How tightly do the clothes fit or how loose? Is there a difference with younger folks, older folks, with city folk, with non-city folk, different styles and things that people pick? Their footwear. I am telling you, I'm always looking at like what's on their feet. This is a good one. Again, shoes, sandals, sneakers. What are they wearing on their feet? The bags they're carrying. This is all gold for sellers, because if you see certain things, like for instance, we have a school there where I live, and I'm always looking at what backpacks are they wearing in the winter, what jackets are they wearing, what hats are they wearing, because it can really help me in sourcing on eBay. So the reason I'm doing this story, the reason I'm mentioning this is I'm standing in line at a coffee shop to grab either a coffee or a tea. I forget. Here I am sipping my peppermint tea. This was yesterday, and there was a young lady in front of me, very athletic, clearly had come from yoga or Pilates class or was going. And the reason I say that was because she had the mat in a carrier on her shoulder with the Lululemon logo. And she had on a Lululemon top. I could tell she had the logo on the back. And can you tell I've sourced and sold some Lululemon, which is a great brand, by the way. Leggings. But her shoes were Hoka, Hoka. And forgive me if I'm mispronouncing it. And I've seen this brand a lot. I've seen it a lot on the street. And I just didn't have time to look it up. I've also seen it. I was at a big Salvation Army. This is about a month ago. And they had Hoka behind the counter. And I thought, because I even said to the cashier, very, very nice lady, we were chatting. And I said, oh, I see, you have some higher end sneakers, because they had Hoka, they had some Jordans, and it was behind the counter. I said, are they put aside for somebody? Because I am aware, and this is not knocking anything, but oftentimes, the cashiers might have friends, that kind of thing, or they might have put it aside for themselves. And she said, oh no, it's there just because they're higher end. Sadly, this is sometimes people sort of take things and put it in their bags and forget to pay for them. And I said, could I take a look at them? She said, absolutely. So I put my bag that had stuff in it. I kept my purse with me. And I went around the counter to look at them, and they were priced high. So the used Hokas, and there was wear on the heels, were like $35, $40, which is pretty much what they sell for on eBay. So clearly these people know how to look things up on eBay. I said, thank you so much. Now, if they were new with box or in pristine condition, it might have been a very different thing. Okay. But these were clearly used. So I said, thank you so much. And I passed, but I will keep checking back, because now I know at that store, if it's higher end, and it makes sense, it's behind the counter. So it's not that it's put aside for anybody. It's because they want to make money from selling it, not have somebody walk off with them. So if you ever see that in a store, in the thrift stores, don't always think that it's put aside for somebody, because sometimes it is. Sometimes people have put money down, or sometimes people have layaway, or they're putting it down because they're carrying. There's a lot of different reasons it could be there. But at least I know with this thrift store, it's there because it's higher end items. They also put them in a glass case, almost like those jewelry display cases in the department stores. And they do that again to protect them. So always ask. It's worthwhile, and then you just check and see if the price is worth it. Because sometimes it is marked up, it's more than just a few bucks, but you can still flip it. I have no problem paying top dollar for things, 20, 25, 30 or more, when I can double it. And I can see that I can double it very easily. I have no problem paying you more money, not just paying you $5, even though that is nice to make $100 off of $5, but I get it. And I'm very glad to pay top dollar to get top dollar things that I can flip. But back to Hoka. So I had seen it at the Salvation Army. And then I saw it on this girl when we were standing online to get coffee, and she was very fashionably dressed. And I went, And I've been seeing it a lot on the street. So I said, let me check this out on eBay. So I just want to show you this. I looked up Hoka men and women's. I'm going to be showing you women's. Okay. If you're not aware of this brand, because again, we all know Nike and Adidas and other brands, but I'm telling you, this is like hotter than hot. And I was really surprised. So anyway, let me just show you this. So it's always good to see this. So this is Hoka women's. Let me just show you this. So first of all, you sort of go, ouch. I mean, 28,000 are listed. Oh, clear. So clearly other people have discovered Hoka too. So I go, ouch. And I scroll through, and there's a big variety. I mean, look at this. We've got some used for 30. Then we've got with the boxes, 109. So clearly big range in color, in sizes, but there's a ton of these listed. Okay. Used and new. I go, okay. Now, if you don't know, so you go, okay, Hoka, a ton are listed. So clearly other people have discovered this. Is this worth it for sourcing for me? So then what you do is you hop over to product research. You can use product research on the phone under research or on desktop. Hey, Sharon, how are you? I do both. When I'm outsourcing, I have no problem pulling up my phone when I'm standing in the middle of a thrift store or a flea market. I mean, everybody's on their phones. It's not like we stand out. So it's not like the old days. It's like everybody's on their phones. So get on your phone. I do turn the ringer down when I'm at thrift stores and stuff. I don't wear eBay t-shirts. I don't wear eBay hats. I don't carry an eBay bag. I carry generic. But anyway, so I hopped over. Let me just want to make sure I pull up the right thing. So hang on, you guys. So I looked at Hoka women's, and there's a ton. Oh, and then I said, excuse me, I looked over at solds. I said, let me just take a look at the solds and just see, the prices and stuff. So hang on a second. So let me find this. Nope. Hang on a second. Maybe I can't find it. Hang on a second. Okay. That's not it. That's what I wanted. Let me see if I can pull this up. I have to find the right screen. Here it is. So all I did was click solds. Didn't do any kind of filtering. And you can do this again on the app, or, hey, how are you, Bev? You can do this on the app. You can do this on the phone. Okay. I'm just checking solds. Like, okay, how does this look before I go do some product research? So 40. And the ones that were used at the Salvation Army, that's the price was. So clearly they know what they're doing. Now these look in pretty nice shape. The ones I was looking at were pretty beat up. Again, 30. This is smart, by the way. Good picture. I like this because I can see, the wear on the soles. I always like to see how people are posing their shoes. 100. New other. Okay, makes sense. Okay, so new with box is going for 128. New is like 100. Used or in the $30 range. Yeah, definitely with box is going for higher. But these are pre-owned. Again, we all know this with sneakers and fitness clothing. If it's something that's a more recent release, it's going to go for higher money, or unless it's a very unique vintage, high in demand item for some reason. But these look, I mean, I'm looking at the soles, pretty nice shape. And those are 79. So big range, like 40 to 80. And then new with box, we're in the $100 range. So I go, this is definitely an interesting looking brand. Let's take a look at the sell-through rate. Okay. And in case you guys don't know, and you can always Google this. I also use ChatGPT, which if you don't, it can be very, very helpful. And just say, how do I calculate sell-through rate? Okay. And you can Google it. There are all kinds of stuff. But basically, sell-through rate is the number listed. So all the ones that are listed on eBay. And then the number that's sold in the same time period. So number listed for 30 days, and then the number sold for 30 days or 60 or 90, etc. So you take the number listed, divide it by the number sold times 100. Excuse me. Number sold, I'm doing well. Divided by the number listed times 100 gives you the sell-through rate. So if it was 50 sold, 50 sold divided by 200 listed times 100 is 25%. Okay. And that's why I have to keep looking it up because my brain wants to go the other way. So it's the number sold divided by number listed times 100 equals 25%. And the great thing, if you've got ChatGPT, is you could tell ChatGPT, I have this number listed and this number sold. Tell me what the sell-through rate is. And ChatGPT will tell you. And I bet Siri and Alexa would too. But anyway, ChatGPT definitely would. Or if you're using the other generative AIs. Okay. The reason you care about sell-through rate, particularly something like sneakers, and it's going to be lower for higher end. And I have nothing wrong with low sell-through rates, particularly when it's very niche items, is it eventually will sell. It's just going to take longer than a couple of months. It's going to take maybe a year and a half, 2 years. Things with high margins or things that you really like, or you're in more of a micro niche, I'm totally fine about that. But what I find is when you are in micro niches and when you have things that take longer to sell, they're called long tail, is you also want to have some things that sell quicker. You want to mix it up because that way you always got cash coming in, because that's what you're after as a seller. Where sellers get themselves in a jam is when you have a ton of inventory and it's just not moving fast enough. That typically means you have a lot of long tail items. It can also mean you need to drop your prices if you have a store run a sale. But a lot of times it's because you have long tail items, again, which are great. And when they sell, you make good money, but you want to mix it in with some things that are quicker sellers. And Hoka sneakers tend to be one of those. So first of all, just to give an idea, I picked Nike because Nike's such a huge brand. I do see Nike all over the place in New York City. So just to give you an idea, I wanted you to look at the sell-through rate on Nike. So hang on a second. Let me pull up my Nike. And again, all you're doing is product research. And did I lose? Oh, hang on a second. See if I've got my Nikes. Otherwise, I got to pull it back up. That's the problem when you keep opening and closing things. Okay, that's Hoka. Where's my Nike? Here's my Nike. Okay, hang on. Okay, so what I did was Nike women's sneakers. I'm sticking all to women's, okay? And Nike women's sneakers, because you want to compare apples to apples. Nike women's sneakers for the past 90 days, okay? And this is what happened when I looked at Nike. Is this Nike? I think it is. Hang on a second. We'll take a look. If it's not, we'll look at something else. Yes, it is Nike. Okay, good. So Nike women's sneakers. Notice the drop down. Last 90, and it needs to be 90 or less to get sell-through rates. Okay. Scroll down. This is very general. Notice I'm using no filters. I'm not filtering by condition, by price, nothing, not by top rated. I'm just doing general search. I just want to get a general idea. Okay. And then obviously if you're looking at a specific pair, then you start zeroing down by color and size. Average sold is 63. Only 22% do free shipping. So it tells me people charge for shipping. The sell-through rate is a little over 14%, which is good. 14% sell-through rate is good. a lot of times I'm helping sellers and their sell-through rate is 2 or 3%. Okay. So 14% is very, very good. That means, back to my math, that for the number listed divided by the number sold times 100, 14% of Nike women's sneakers will sell in the 90 days. Okay. And again, that means with good keywords and good pictures. Okay. It doesn't just mean throwing anything you want up. But in general, broad look without filtering by size or color or condition, 14% sell-through rate. Now look at Hoka. This is women's sneakers for Hoka. And we're going to, and I was shocked. I mean, I almost fell over when I saw this. So hang on a second. We are going to make sure it's the right thing. Hang on. I got to close like the other screen so I know what I'm pulling up. Okay. Drum roll on this. Because again, Nike good at 14. But let's see what Hoka does. And is this? It's so hard to read this stuff. I'm going to assume this is. And if it's not, we will pull up something else. Yeah, look at this. Nike Hoka women's sneakers. 90 days, May through August. 42.65 sell-through rate. I'm going to say that again. 42.65. So that's almost half. That's almost half of all the Hoka women's sneakers sold. I mean, I was like, trust me, this is going on the top of my list now when I'm out and about, because you can source them. Resale stores, again, like your Salvation Armies and your Goodwills and stuff, but also retail places. Because remember with sneakers that oftentimes they stop selling a certain style and it goes into closeout, not because there's anything wrong with it. And a lot of times that's where people are getting the new with box stuff, because they have a new line coming out. Sneakers are very trendy. Certain styles and stuff are only available for a very short time. Then they close them out because they want to bring out something new. So you can get a really, really good deal. And the other thing, yard sales and flea markets, oftentimes people will buy things. It's just not them. They maybe wore it once or twice. They are in pristine condition. And look at the ones that are in really, really good shape. We're in the $75, $80 range. And if they happen to have the box, even better. My husband, for one, stores all his sneakers in the original boxes. So if and when he ever gives me a pair to sell, yes, they are gently used because he takes pristine condition of his shoes, but I have the original box, which is always a big selling proposition. So let me tell you, repeat after me. What are we looking for? Hoka, Hoka sneakers. The men's, interestingly enough, sell a little less than the ladies. The men's are around 39% when I looked them up. The women's were over 40. I was in shock. That's an incredibly good sell-through rate. I cannot overemphasize that. Incredibly good sell-through rate. And again, you're going to look at what you're paying. You're going to look at the wear. You always flip sneakers over and take a look at the soles. Okay. Always, always, always look at the wear on the soles, particularly take a look at the heel, and then take a look at the insides, what the inside looks like. Like, is it falling apart or is it still intact? Because it can actually look pretty good outside. But for whatever reason, the previous owner really, really, really did a number on the inside. But I was shocked. And I was really glad that I had, and I was going to actually take my phone out and take a picture of the woman with her Lululemon, with her Hoka sneakers. And then I'm thinking, she might think I'm like a stalker if she turns around and sees me with the phone out, taking a picture of her backside, because it had all the Lululemon logos and the Hoka sneakers I was going to take a picture of. This is how Kathy does research, but it is. I'm always looking at the brands that people are wearing, okay? Particularly with my fabulous stylish people, because my fabulous stylish people are the ones that are on eBay. Sneakers are an enthusiast category on eBay. That means that eBay's spending big bucks with what they call influencers, which are people on Instagram and TikTok, showing off like sneakers and things and driving them to eBay. So it's always good to keep an eye out. Again, things that you can realistically source, right? I love Apple products, but it's very hard to source them. But something like Hoka sneakers, I've seen them in the Salvation Armies. I've seen them in Goodwill. They tend to be priced high, but I'll keep an eye out. because maybe, something will slip by, or I'll see we do have sidewalk sales, we do have neighborhood sales, and oftentimes there you can get better prices on things. But do with the various stores and places that you sell, and retail arbitrage is often very lucrative here in the city because we have so many big stores and they have great clearance sections. And I will be looking for Hoka because clearly it's on trend. Over 40% is an absolutely crazy sell-through rate. I mean, it's really, 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 really good. So once you have your fabulous Hoka sneakers and other fabulous things you sell, you want to create listings that sell. Because again, you don't want to just throw things up. And I noticed a couple of Hoka listings that were just thrown up. So I might keep an eye out for some that I can flip. Because if you don't know, one of the great ways to source for selling on eBay is eBay itself. And you find listings that are terrible, not to knock other sellers, but you find a really bad listing of a great item and you buy it and you flip it. Is you want listings that are created to sell. And a lot of it's about your keywords, but there's other really good parts of your listing that can really help you sell. And I have a free guide for you, and it's up on my website. It is eBay listings that sell. I just redid it. So it's new. So do grab it. So eBay listings that sell, completely free. It's got top tips. If you don't know, I have the great privilege of working with a lot of eBay teams, and I've given all kinds of great tips for you to really optimize. And when I say optimize, what it means is that it's really set up so that you're formatted to take advantage of everything that's in eBay search so that your item will be picked up and picked up well. And I explain it in a way that it's easy to understand. So grab eBay listings that sell and keep an eye out for Hoka. Oh, you're welcome, Melissa. Good to see you. Hi, everybody. Bev and Sharon, thank you so many for tuning in. But yes, people watch, right? Learn from Kathy's acting classes. People watching is such fun. And again, you're looking at their walks and you're looking, to bring a smile to their face, but also look at how they're dressed. It will really tell you an enormous amount about styles that are on trend, patterns that are on trend. A lot of times it's the patterns, but with this, the Hoka, and I've seen them a lot, and I've seen them on all ages. That's another thing. So I've seen them like on my high school and college kids that are in the neighborhood, but I've seen them on the tourists, and I've seen them like in my neighborhood for the kids that are going to and from fitness classes. So keep an eye out for Hoka and grab eBay listings to sell. And I'm Kathy, and I love to be selling. Bye-bye, everybody.